All right. Hello there and welcome to SWTVC on YouTube, to the TVC March Madness 2024 Championship live stream. We have a lot to cover today and only so little time to do so. I am Evan. I am joined this week by John. He's back. And Tyler. He's also back. So this is going to be a fun time. Also, real quick, how's my connection this week, guys?
It sounds good. You're not doing a B2 emo impression this week, which is nice.
Thank God. All right. Now this time I can speak without having to worry about ruining everything. At least technically, I'll ruin it with what I say instead. So. All right. So, John, I see you put in the notes here that
yes.
Hasbro is doing a WonderCon panel in about an hour.
Yeah. So we can try to wrap it up before then. If they are not streaming it themselves, our friend the Imperial Communique will be streaming to his YouTube channel live from the room. So be sure to check that out after this. I know Toy Shiz is streaming as well, so you have a few options. I will be at the Hasbro meet and greet, sort of at the convention, outside the convention in a couple hours, hopefully with photo coverage of whatever reveals they do. Probably not a ton, since the panel is covering all of Hasbro's action brands, not just Star Wars, but hopefully we'll have some goodies here. Like we said, all 64 characters from the bracket maybe today. It could happen. We don't know.
Get those expectations way up, folks.
Yes. Anything less than that
wrong.
is worthy of revolt. So.
Oh, man. All right. Well, before then, though, the reason we're here today is we will be revealing the winner of the 2024 TVC March Madness event. But we have some topics to discuss first. And of course, we'll have more to say with data and breakdowns throughout the next month or so on our Instagram page at SWTVC. So be sure to follow us. Again, if you're here watching this and you don't follow us on Instagram, please explain. I'm curious how that works. Anyway, yes, while we're at it, since those of you watching it, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm not used to saying that kind of stuff. I like to beg a lot, but then this kind of begging feels weird. But yes, please. So let's see who all's here. All right. We got Master Gray Wookie, who likes to chime in with make them all, which I agree with.
Best hashtag ever.
Yes.
Just make them all.
Yeah.
I've pinned his comment more than a few times. That's not an accident.
We've got a lot of familiar folks here.
Justice for Frog Lady. Yes. All right.
Yes.
Frog Lady. Next year, we can exclusively reveal she did not win this year, but maybe next year.
Toys of the Way, Toys of the Jedi.
Had some great names in here.
Hello. Thanks, everybody, for checking it out.
Hey, pre-liked before the stream began.
Nice.
Thanks, Toys of the Jedi. You're the best, man.
Heck yeah. Well, thanks, everybody, for joining us this week. Before we get into March Madness, though, I guess we should probably do a quick mail call.
Yeah, a lot of the same stuff we talked about last week, but the Dooku Wave is still shipping out. Pulse has delivered my Cassian and Finn. Dooku and the clone should be here tomorrow. People are starting to get them. Yes, Tyler, you posted some great Dooku shots, as well as a group of all three March Madness winners. What do you think about this Dooku figure?
It's fantastic. I mean, phenomenal figure. Perfect 10.
Nice.
I did have a couple of very minor nitpicks, but none of them are big enough to ding him a full point. So he's a 10.
I believe it was, forgive me as I look this up, somebody
Carter
had
the Conqueror.
Well, somebody had put the _ Mandalorium on Instagram, posted some great fixes for the Dooku cape. I'm sure, Tyler, you will be getting a couple extras and ironing it to your heart's content. So yes, there are fixes to make a great figure even better.
Truth.
Yeah. It's people that don't think he
needs.
Yes,
old man just stands there while Yoda leaps around the room.
Yeah. Dooku does a full front flip when he's about to fight Anakin and Obi-Wan. We need full articulation for that moment. So yes, I have a carded one from Entertainment Earth waiting on my openers here. Django Fett, keeping the Attack of the Clones love going. Django is also shipping from Entertainment Earth. Our boy Carlo just got his. It's about to process and ship from Pulse. So it's exciting to see that. Not too long after Lewis and Tim got theirs over there in the UK. So
it only took us
yes.
to the end of March and beginning of April to get our first new product of the year. That's
Yes.
I know, and the most exciting repacks ever. Literally ever in the history of the vintage collection.
We hit the peak of
I'm
TVC collecting,
I'm just
guys.
spreading that sarcasm on thick.
I'm doing my part to help Cassian sell because the paint on the one that I got was a little bit off. His lips were a little low, so buying extra Cassians to help everybody out. So what's up, Jason? Welcome everybody. Yeah, Django looks awesome. The Mandalorian on Instagram also had a fix for Django's belt, so go ahead and check that out. Yeah,
I think
fun
he
stuff.
it might have been a different profile, but somebody put the alternate jetpack on him.
Oh.
The taller missile, the Camino jetpack.
I wanted to see that. I asked Lewis for
Yeah,
Lewis posted
great.
a lot of great pictures on his profile, Space Hut as well, and I kept hitting him with more requests, but I know he's busy right now, so he can't join us today. But hopefully he's
also
busy
got
taking lots of pictures of Django.
a few more of these.
Oh my God!
Nice.
Listen, I just want to say, Hasbro, I personally made Entertainment Earth sell out of these. You can't keep up with my appetite. Make more of them. I'm just kidding. No.
Well, I guess
he was supposed to be carried forward, and I don't think.
I think he is going to be. Yeah.
Oh, he
think-
is going to be still.
Yeah, one of the next couple waves.
In the wave that I know Boss Bounty also posted the Hu Yang wave, I believe. Thrawn and Ahsoka being repacked in that,
Okay.
and that's hitting Australia and stuff like that. So
Cool.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, let's move on. The weekly Imperial March reveals concluded this week. Maybe Hasbro says that they're done, but it sounds like there's still a quote March to May 4th. The actual month of March is concluding anyway. I'm curious, will there be an April showers bring May the 4th flowers or something? We'll find out. So, but yes, we got two figures that were only recently added to the pipeline, and they were pipelined on January 23rd at the Pulse fan stream. It was just a lean 2 months ago, so pretty quick. First one is VC 271 Dark Trooper.
Yes, fills in that number gap. You can finally sleep at night.
Finally, obviously, I haven't been doing that a whole lot. So
this figure is a single carded repack of the deluxe figure that we all bought dozens of on sale over the past couple of years. It does not include the charging station, extra hands, or flame effects from the deluxe version. It does include the blaster. Unfortunately, the left hand is the closed fist, which means it cannot hold the blaster in two hands like it does on the card image. I don't know why they decided to do that. And it is also packed 2 per case in the Acolyte wave scheduled for September or October. I think the card does look great, though.
Yeah.
And
I kind of would like to get confirmation because it shows the fist in both the promotional photos and the mock-up there on the card back, right? Like both of them. Why would you do that? I don't know. I want to believe that that's just an accident and they're not actually doing that.
That's impossible, though. It says attention to detail in the product description.
We got to be careful what we wish for. Otherwise, we'll see it repacked in 2 years with the open fist.
Yeah.
Because people asked for this figure to be on a card 2 years ago when it was revealed to be in a box. So this fits in the same category of Axwov's helmet and Captain Ballast / Hauser's name pill. Something people were upset and very excited to be asking about 2 years ago, but have now moved on from. Especially after the Deluxe Dark Trooper has been available for as low as $10 recently. And as we saw last week, I finished up my collection of all 40 from the show, thanks to that. But now I get to have another one. So here we go. Are you guys getting more of this one, or have you had your fill already?
So I'm for sure gonna get a couple for minty carded ones because I do try to have a complete 2.0 collection.
Sure.
Carded. But here's the thing about this one. Like you said, everybody was saying when this was first released as a deluxe that this belonged on a card back. This would have fit in a bubble, and of course it is. They told us at the time that it was too big to fit on a bubble. All already then. But but you know, the thing is, it's like you said, John, you know, it takes months and months to pre-plan the schedule for when things are going to release, right? So everyone's like, "Oh, Hasbro is so dumb for releasing these again when the current Dark Trooper is $10." Do you think they knew that the current Dark Trooper, the deluxe one, was going to be $10 months or a year and a half ago?
Right.
When they put this into, of course not. Of course not. So they're not making these decisions last week. They made these decisions maybe last, you know, 2 calendar years ago, potentially.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're sending mixed messages when we say, "Hey, you know, I want this to be on a card," and then they put it on a card, and we're like, "Well, that's dumb. I can still get it for $10 in the deluxe for." It's like they can't win, guys. You know, I don't know.
And it didn't help though that the deluxe version, the first version of this figure, was about 2 years too late. Not that it's not appreciated, and not that it's, you know, not a good figure. It's just one of those, like, strike while the iron's hot. And I know we've talked about that a lot. It's hard for them to do when Lucasfilm and certain creatives at Lucasfilm are not very forthcoming with the licensors about what to make.
But another thing we've been asking them to do is to release figures that go with playsets as the playsets come out, and they are doing the Moff Gideon light cruiser hallway later this year. So I give them points for all this stuff. It is just unfortunate, you know, we've all seen the other one discounted so many times over the past 2 years. And I see in the comments, Dean, who runs the renamed Star Wars TVC Vintage Collection Modern 3.75 Facebook group, I used to have Rebels in the name, asks, yes, according to the images, as far as we know, it will still have the light up, the pipe light, whatever they call it, eyes, where you shine a light behind it and the eyes light up. So it doesn't seem to be modified in any way. Yeah, you can see it there. Yeah, so still a great figure.
I have a complete, you know, loose army.
Yeah.
Because I bought 30 plus of the deluxe ones. I always love to show my big bag. I got to clean up my room, which is why this is my big bag of charging port walls. But you know, it is what it is. Whatever.
Yeah.
I got my army. I was very happy about it. So,
well, speaking of armies, let's move on to the next one.
Let's do it.
It's VC 330. Again, loving that they include the VC numbers on the reveals now. HK87 Assassin Droid Arcana.
Yes, so this is a repaint of the red HK87, the leader here we got a few months ago. This one's similar to the Retro Collection color scheme, but thankfully a different fill mount. That's not just an edit of the existing TVC card, because the Retro and the first TVC figure both have the same image, just modified. It's weird. This is packed 1 per case in the Acolyte wave and includes the cape and staff from the previous release. It does not include the blaster, but there were 3 of these droids on Arcana with one of the red droids. Only 1 of those 4 only had and used a blaster, so we are covered in that regard. And the blaster was inaccurate anyway, so, you know, would have been nice if it had the accessory, but we're all good. We're all right here, folks. Everybody calm down.
I'm excited about this one, right? Because I always want more stuff for my Thrawn shelf. I'm all about it. But I feel like it's a little odd to get 2 different carded versions of this droid instead of, okay, they put out, you know, the first one, and then they put a 4-pack of, you know, Morgan Elsbeth's squad in the different colors in a troop builder pack. That's the way I would have approached this. But
I think that's kind of what we were all thinking.
Yeah.
But
and Toys of the Way mentions it looks to have a new cape. Different shape on the bottom, so that's nice. And some of them in the show don't even have the cape, so, you know, I still bought 4 of these because later there's one with Shin on Lothal when she's fighting Sabine. I think that's all there are in the show. We got a few months till they come out, so maybe I'll be proven wrong and get a few more. There is still another. These are similar to the ones in The Mandalorian Season 2. There's different stuff on them and a few different details, and then there's a different black and red one later on Lothal and Corellia.
One of them has the 7th Fleet symbol on his helmet, right?
Yeah,
we haven't gotten that one yet.
Those are the ones in Mandalorian, yeah. So they have the 7th Fleet symbol, and then they have different a bandolier and different soft goods and stuff. But
Yeah.
So they can keep doing it. So this is the kind of repaint that I'm happy to see. It's from the show.
Absolutely.
It makes sense. I'm glad to have it.
For sure.
So yeah, not the most exciting reveals of the day, but they're all right. It's nice to, stuff we've been asking for, stuff we wanted.
Yeah.
Speaking of stuff we've been asking for nigh on 3 decades, the Black Series got the Last Command 4-pack with Joris Sabaoth, right? Which is only notable here in how mad it made everybody when they revealed it. It had been pipelined for a while, but I know, Tyler, you're a big Thrawn trilogy guy.
I am
So
indeed.
People have been waiting for this guy in 3.75 for a long time, so it's a little. Hopefully, he still. Then just because it's in Black Series doesn't mean it's never ever coming to Vintage. But would have been nice to get him first. Sometimes it does mean that.
Yeah, we never got Jackson, so
yeah, I'm waiting on Jackson.
Yeah,
or
Jackson. Kylo Ren, but whatever.
Let's move on. We could sit in this stew in this pain, but
let's happy beeps it a little bit.
So Tyler, you missed some of the previous reveals on these streams, and you love all things Imperial, especially one big blue boy in particular. So, do you have any additional thoughts you wanted to share on the prior Captain Enoch and Night Troopers reveal or Grand Admiral Thrawn pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, I was gushing and raving about the Night Trooper pack. I'm super happy with how much new tooling there is in that, and I'll try to keep this brief because I'm sure that's not what everybody's here for. But
it probably is actually. But
I'm very excited about being able to boil and pop and switch around parts and make a lot more different, unique troopers, including Captain Enoch. Some of his limb pieces can probably be utilized to make even more custom troopers, and I hope they do Ezra and Night Trooper disguise as well, because that could lend even more pieces. But so looking forward to that. I ordered 25 of them, I believe.
Oh my god,
25 sets.
25, yes.
Wow,
buddy.
I'm gonna have a literal mountain of Enochs.
The Mount Tantus of Enochs.
Yeah. I hope for your sake, I hope for all our sakes, he's revealed to be a clone, and there's just lots of him in that exact same armor.
Yeah, that's who all the cases are. All the sarcophaguses are. It's just a bunch of Enochs.
Joey Pratt down there asked if the new Thrawn, I'm assuming the Lars Mikkelsen Thrawn, will be all new. No, I don't think he will be. I don't know. I'm assuming that we'll get a new head. And he should. So the Rebels Thrawn, of course, I have 85,000 Thrawns, and I don't have one right next to me.
John's got you covered.
But so thank you. So the Rebels Thrawn, his pants are very tight to the legs to represent how he looked in animated. But the live action Lars Mikkelsen Thrawn has the traditional Imperial yodpers. Yeah, yodpers. However, the poofy pants, as I call them.
You get the idea.
So if they put out the Lars Mikkelsen version, he should have those upper thighs and a different head, and that's about the most difference that I would expect. I'm personally hoping that he's nice and bright white and he doesn't have any. I don't know. Some people might disagree with me on this. I'm sure some people would like him to be dingy and have his little stitch on his chest from how he looked in the show. I would prefer to have a nice clean white man, because I don't know if they'll ever repack him again. They probably will.
Yeah.
But this might be our only opportunity to get Lars Thrawn, and in which case I want him to have a nice uniform. But some may disagree with me on that. So.
They've already done the Black Series one twice before it's even come out. So
the Black Series one looks incredible.
I know you were tempted.
Wrap it up, folks. Tyler said something nice about Black Series. Hell froze over. I don't buy the Black Series, but that figure tested my faith. Okay, I was shook.
And I'll just say real quick, he does seem to have more new parts than So
torso's new. His belt and pistol, he has a different pistol. So
hopefully they treat TVC the same way here and do some more newness. Then
that portrait looks great.
Yeah, it does.
It looks phenomenal. I hope ours looks just like it. So yeah. Looking forward to seeing that one.
All right. Well, you know what? We're 20 minutes in. Let's go ahead and jump to the meat of the show, guys.
Wow.
It is March Madness.
Wow.
Woo! It's come to an end.
Yeah.
So we're finally at the end of the 4th annual TVC March Madness. So thanks again to everyone who submitted a list, voted, commented, shared the images, posted their brackets, discussed on forums, all that fun stuff. It's been a long road. John, you said
I need a nap.
yes, same, but yes.
I'll be going into my annual April back to tank Boba style here for the next month.
But
hopefully ready and recharged to talk about a HasLab for 45 straight days.
Yeah, I got a few messages about how I was very tired seeming and low energy on the last one. Again, apologies. I was very tired and also was trying not to speak as I was doing my max headroom technical issues. So apologies again for last week. But before we get to the finale and everyone changes the channel and gets away from the stream, let's do a brief overview one more time. John, take it away.
Yeah, so I want to reiterate yet again, this is a totally fan-run event every year, not official. Hasbro is under zero legal or moral obligation to make any of these figures, but they always ask us to tell them what they want. So this is our best attempt to collate the various asks from across the community to the best of our ability. The Hasbro Star Wars brand team members have noted many times that they are watching and playing along themselves. So just a little overview again as we get into it. This January, we asked for your top 25 most wanted all new TVC figures, and we got 1,218 good usable lists, which included 29,509 individual character submissions, almost double the number of lists we got last year. We cleaned up and sorted the characters, which revealed over 2,200 different characters or character appearances. And then the top 64 made it onto the bracket, which is a huge feat in and of itself, and shows strong demand for all these characters. And comparing to previous tournaments and previous years, the top 10 were almost identical to the recent last figure standing tournament, which shows remarkable consistency across the community. Cobb Vanth was in the top 10 there and probably would have been in the top 10 here, but he was pipelined while we were taking lists. A lot of people had time to remove him from the lists. We disqualified him anyway. Asajj Ventress was also in the top 10 there. It was ranked 12 in March Madness. She overperformed that and made it to the final 4. Baze Malbus and the Snowtrooper were near the top 10 in last figure standing, but in the top 10 in March Madness because of those 2 open spaces now. And Baylan Skoll was the number 1 ranked character going into both tournaments. So speaking of consistency, let's talk repeat characters from previous March Madness tournaments. 42 characters were the same as last year. Do we have this image? I forget. You showed me ahead of time.
That one
of the 4-timers.
The 4-timers is a little bit later. Hold on, let me.
So yeah, so there were 18 characters that made the bracket all 4 years. I think we're going to go to the top 100 after this. Yeah, so here they are. Here's the take a hint Hasbro list, as we jokingly call it. Leading into this, there were 20 characters that were on the 3-timers list. Unfortunately, Finn fell off the bracket. Where was he? We'll find out in just a minute. And Cobb Vanth has been pipelined since then. So here are the 18 characters that have been on the bracket all 4 years, as you can, in order of how they ranked this year. Of course, the A New Hope mains like Luke and Ben are there. Han Solo is only on 3 years. Long-awaited Cantina characters, Rogue One characters, Clone Wars characters, finished the 96, sequel trilogy, everything in between. So if Hasbro could start knocking out more of these, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so all the different ways to look at the data. The tournament is one way, the submissions are another way, how many times they've been on is another way, which teams and themes they complete is another way, and we will be getting into all of that over the course of the month. I don't have images for the other ones, but the 3-timers, there were 13 characters this year, 29 overall. 15 have been made. The 2-timers, there were also 13 characters this year, including 2 who were not on last year, 26 characters overall, 10 of which have been made. And one time, there were 20 characters this year and 45 characters that were on one bracket in previous years, 18 of which have been made. So yeah.
Just real quick, Evan, can you bring up the picture again?
Yes, I can. Thank
you.
Sorry, I'm running two screens right now.
That's all right. So it's worth saying that, as you said, John, 2,200 characters were what we had to work with as far as from the lists this year. Approximately 2,200, and only 64 made it into the bracket. And what's incredible is that we nearly doubled participation from 2023 to 2024. In 2023, we had about 670-ish good usable lists. And in 2024, this year, we've had about 1,200-ish lists. So we nearly doubled. And yet, all of these characters have made it on for the 4th year in a row. I mean, that's pretty remarkable consistency when the event grows so much year over year, every single year, and yet the same characters keep rising to the top. So,
And they,
I mean, you know, Hasbro tells us, tell us what you want, tell us what you want. I mean, we are. This is the list, bro.
Yeah.
This is the list. It's right here. Make this stuff, you know.
And, and speaking of consistency, they kind of ranked in similar areas. I know we talked about it earlier, but as I was making this image today, I didn't have to do that much editing because they were all kind of ranked in similar ways.
Ben Solo, if I recall, has the same exact he's at the same exact position this year as he was last year.
And as you can see,
so
like
crazy.
I know that Jedi Temple Guard had a big upset against the Tonica Sisters. You can see how high they were ranked and how low the Jedi Temple Guard were ranked. So that kind of shows, again, yes, Hasbro should probably be looking at lists like this in the top 100, especially, but the March Madness tournament is able to bring in some of these lower ranked characters to kind of show, you know, demand for those guys as well. So yes, I will not be printing out this list for the meet and greet here in a couple hours. But
I had to say that because it's worth really hammering home. You know, that's the most important data I think that we could possibly provide to Hasbro is that this is so consistent despite the fact that the event grows every year.
And I like Jason's comment up here, middle-aged Kiwi man. If you want to highlight that. Not only shows consistency of wants, I won't do the accent. It also shows that people want stuff from across all media. There is no OT versus youngins at an aggregate level. We are all Star Wars. So yes, even in our conversations, some people might, or some different websites or whatever groups might skew a little more towards that or a little more towards this. But you know, we should all come together over our love of Star Wars. I know we just debated for the past month which figure should be made over another, but you know,
this is 100% all that I've been trying to say this whole time and championing for this expanded line, this healthier line to scratch all those itches meaningfully, keep everyone engaged. So
read it with the X. Read it again.
This image is amazing. It not only shows consistency of wants, it also shows that people want stuff from across all media. Omega.
Got our own deep red speaker in the house.
They're all Star Wars.
I had to get the Omega in there.
But let me throw up the top 100 list.
Yes,
you got
zoom out a little bit. The top 100, it's across 4 images. So there's the top 25. Here's the list in which they were ranked. You know, the ranking for the top 64 was next to the figures on the bracket. But yeah, we already know the top. We know the top 64. There might be a couple of fun surprises here. We will be posting. So here's, who didn't just barely make the bracket? Finn Pisana. You know, he's always clinging there at the bottom. He was 65 this year. Characters like Greedo, Kino Loy, Princess Leia Organa from the Ewok Village, who was in there last year. Shout him out if you have some of your favorites in here. Joris just barely missed it at number 72. Maybe the chorus will sing a little louder next year.
Yes.
I see everybody's asking for where is this, that, and the other character. I don't know. You know, we can only be here so long. Hit us in the comments when this comes out. I'll help you out as I can. Grief Karga, Navarro Cantina down there at 100, still needed for the Cantina playset. Characters like Yaddle made the top 100 this year.
Love that. Makes me happy.
The Droidica, as they call it in Black Series, and now here the Droidica Destroyer Droid is there. A couple more EU characters, a couple more Clone Wars characters, Rebels, all across the saga. We'll be posting these and all sorts of other images to our Instagram at SWTVC over the next coming weeks, highlighting some of the trends. Like we said, support for the A New Hope mains, other Finish the 96 characters, finishing crews like the Bad Batch and Rogue One, and the higher interest this year in figures from the prequels and the expanded universe or legends this year. There's always a lot to unpack and investigate.
And let me just unpack something real quick. So of these top 100, just as a quick guess, looking at it, not guess, quick count, could be wrong, but about 52 of these are already in or coming to Black Series, including 9 out of the top 10. So,
yeah.
You're welcome.
You said that that Baylan was seeded number 1 over number 2 by about 1,000 points. You said, right?
Yes.
I want to say
by over 1,200 points.
1,200. Okay. So let's
And
break
by
this down
about
for a second here.
and he was about in 50 more lists if we're talking about just lists.
Yeah.
50 more lists than the Shin, who had the second most lists. Luke had the second most
1,200
points.
more points. The most points that you can give a character for each person for their one list is 25 points. So how many lists is that? That's a lot of lists.
Yeah.
So, this is just something to keep in mind for next year. And I don't want to influence how people make their votes, but when you have a character like Jeruis that just barely missed the bracket, and then you have another character like Baylan who beat everybody else in terms of the seating on the bracket by 1,200 points.
Mhm.
It's
Maybe if more people had put Jeruis as their 1 instead of their number 23, he might have gotten it onto the bracket.
But it also shows too that we're kind of sick of this waiting game thing that Hasbro likes to do. Like, hey, here's this new character that you instantly love and reacted well to. Well, we'll see you in 3 years. So,
and I'll say Howlrunner Base brought up.
I did just see that.
However, that is not correct because Mara was in the bracket this year. Mara Jade was in the bracket, and Joris just barely missed it. We don't need Jedi Luke on the bracket. Obviously, we've got him 40 times over, including some great versions. It could be updates, yes, whatever. And you can just pop a hamster action figure's head sculpt onto the Obi-Wan body to recreate what they did in Black Series for Luke. But,
Hamster.
Sweet.
But yeah.
Let's jump in. So throughout March, we held votes on the bracket itself, and here it is.
So as I said, the most valuable data is probably the initial submissions. The bracket, as we say, is mostly for fun to get people talking about the priorities and root for their favorites, get in the conversation, really talk about why you have these wants and priorities that you do. And part of the fun is the big upsets when it doesn't go the seemingly obvious way and people are able to push for their lower ranked favorites. So we got a little bit over 1,400 and 1,800 votes in every matchup, which is a little less than last year, but still solid. Then the numbers are a little closer to the list submissions this year, so there wasn't as quite as wide a gap as in previous years. But yeah, so hopefully it's all good info for Hasbro to look at and read the comments and discussions and forums and everything. So yes, we've all seen the bracket. We don't need to zoom in on all of them, but
no. Let's jump into the fully Filoni Final Four, as you put here. A nice alliteration.
Thank you. So this final week, it was 2 new characters from Ahsoka versus 2 longtime fan favorites from the Clone Wars. Baylan was ranked number 1. Shin was number 3, but she was in the second most number of lists because we weight the characters based on points. Ventress was 12. Pong was 15. And of course, the haters had to jump in the comments and decide whether to tell everyone they hated animation or whether to tell everyone they hated Disney stuff. It was a very rough decision for them this week.
When don't they jump in to let people know those things?
That's the comment sections for you.
But
so Monday results, Baylan narrowly defeated number 12 Asajj Ventress by only 16 points. Every vote counts.
Yeah, we've had matchups as low as a 3 vote difference, right?
I think it was 3 or 4 somewhere in there.
3 vote. I think who did Shin beat that was by 3? Was it Tech?
Yeah, some of them have been very close.
It's been crazy close sometimes. So every vote counts. Yep.
And of course, as people have been pointing out in the comments, this was also right before Ventress finally reappeared on the Bad Batch. And after the second Black Series, Baylan Skoll figure was announced. Now he has a cape. And last year, Ventress was the runner-up against Dooku in a Dark Side Master versus Apprentice finale, which we were kind of expecting to see again with Baylan and Shin, but in a 60% to 40% upset, Pong Krell, number 15, defeated Shin Hati, number 3. So, yes, the championship was there for... any big surprises there? Are we good to talk about the championship?
Let's jump into the championship. It's why everybody's here, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the championship was the number 1 seeded character, Baylan Skoll, against the number 15 seeded character, Pong Krell. Baylan is a character who seems like he should be an obvious addition to the line, who shows great love for the great performance for the late, great Ray Stevenson. Great Ray Stevenson, who, it shows Hasbro we're tired of playing second fiddle to Black Series, and that our requests are maybe really not as different as Hasbro seems to think they are.
Yeah.
In terms of Pong Krell, he's a character who fans have been requesting for over a decade from the fan favorite Clone Wars series. He always does well in this tournament. He isn't, he's a Clone Wars character who isn't just another repaint of a Clone Trooper, Mandalorian, or Droid. So it could bring some newness to that section of the collection section. So we kept the voting open for an additional 2 days. but the winner didn't need it.
Nope. You guys ready?
Yes, he maintained a strong and consistent 65% to 35% lead around there the whole time.
All right, here it is, guys. Moment of truth.
The champion of the Pong Krell is the champion of the TVC March Madness 2024 tournament. Isn't that nuts?
That's
Pong
crazy.
Krell.
I did not
Pong
see that coming.
Krell.
We're singing the song of Pong. We're pinging for Pong. We don't know yet.
Pinging for Pong.
Pinging for Pong.
Oh man, what was one I had down here? Yeah, yelling for Krell. Yell for Krell. Krell's bells. Another one that I'm not going to say because it's not family friendly.
So yes, he won with a lead of 536 votes, almost as many votes as Baylan got to begin with.
Yeah.
The closest that it was 60-40 at the closest point, I think, right? But he ended up getting 65 to about 35.
Yeah, I think that
66 to 30, 34.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was around there. It wasn't like, and so yeah, we kept it open a couple more days. Didn't get a ton of extra votes, I think, which shows we don't need to keep it open that long. But everybody, next time when we say it's open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you better set your dang calendars, because don't come crying to me that the algorithm showed you the post late.
Yeah. You want to know hilarious realization I had last night after I closed the polls? I didn't vote.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Who did you vote for?
I voted yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I probably vote.
So I'll just live vote right now. Not that it matters, but I think I would have jumped on the Pong train. So
nice.
Yeah,
I did too. I jumped on the Pong train, and he wasn't even on my list. But there's a lot of good comments here, and I saw this sentiment was pervasive across both Instagram and Facebook, and also Bantha Skull and other comment sections. The thought seems to be from the community that as Aqualish Doug said, can you highlight his comment real quick?
Yep. Sorry.
Just up there towards the top.
Yeah,
that Baylan was in the top seeding for March Madness and last figure standing. So I think everybody is under the assumption that Hasbro has heard us loud and clear. Yes, we very obviously want Baylan like yesterday. We're all wailing for Baylan. But they thought it was important to send a message and pick a different winner for the sake of the tournament. And I respect that. And it just goes to show that people aren't mindlessly voting here. Like, this isn't, people have picked these characters strategically. It's not an accident that Pong Krell won this, so
yeah,
for what it's worth.
I did see that sentiment a lot.
Yeah.
And I also don't think, just to that point, I don't think people only picked him because he was the second choice or whatever. Like, he still did very well in the tournament. He was still ranked 15th. I just got to point that out before people start saying people only picked him to be contrarian. He was still, I can tell everybody's comments before you're going to make them. I can see things before they happen. It's a Jedi trait. But
got a high M count there, bud.
It's the mustache.
What is it?
That stands for mustache.
But so I mean, Pong Krell still did very well. He's done well all 4 years. He was in the Sweet 16 2 of the 4 years.
Someone do a wellness check on Tim.
Yeah, sorry, Tim. Tim did comment. He said he wanted Pong Krell to win. I think because it does show the message that yes, we do want. I think everybody knows, Hasbro knows we want Baylan. Obviously, this does not mean we don't want Baylan either. It doesn't mean we don't want any of the characters on the bracket. They're all made the bracket. They are all great choices.
Just make them all.
They would all make great figures. Yes. # make the mall.
And, John, you wrote here, a lot of the conversation, but, we should still never take anything as a given. And I chimed in on that one on the outline here. Like, again, with how Hasbro treats TVC, literally no character, no matter how important or obvious, is a lock. It's not a guarantee for us at this point.
Yep.
So it's like, yes, he seems likely, but it can't really hurt to show the demand when opportunities arise, such as this. So
100%.
We've been burned a lot on things that are like, oh yeah, obviously that's coming. And then here we are 4 years later, 5 years later on some things. And it's like, oh, so that was not going to happen for us ever. Got it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We got Churrit 4 years ago and still no Baze or Bodhi. We got Hunter last year, still none of the rest of the Bad Batch. We got Leia on the way.
Yeah.
Hopefully more coming. We don't know. don't take anything as a given. You still got to fight for your favorites here.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. So the Clone Wars proved yet again to be a very formidable force in this tournament, as every year has had at least one Clone Wars character in the championship. We can take this image down unless you want to keep looking at the pie chart.
Sorry, I was just going to show that.
Pong is the champion, yes.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to.
But so Bo-Katan won in 2021. She appeared in Mando season 2 right before that, but there was already pent up demand from her Clone Wars days. She showed up around the same time as Pong, actually, season 4. Pre Vizsla very nearly won by like 11 points in 2022, and has since joined the line and been an awesome figure. And Ventress came very, very close to winning last year. So it's a lot of Clone Wars demand. Other Clone Wars characters tend to outperform their rankings as well, like the Jedi Temple Guard and Savage Opress, but only Pong has taken it all this year. As somebody mentioned, a lot of the animated characters did well this year. The Bad Batch made it all into the Sweet 16, other than Omega, who was up against Crosshair in the first round. Again, we'll look at all these different sections and media sources over the next month or so before we get into the HasLab of it all. But
yeah. Oh God, yeah, that's right. We got a HasLab coming.
Yes. A lot to do, and it's gonna be all 64 characters as a set for $6,000.
Honestly, at this point, I'd buy it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Any other comments? Oh, that's it. That's all we got.
That's it, man. That was March Madness 2024.
So thanks again to everybody who shared and participated. I have a list somewhere. Listen to the other live streams where we named everybody by name, but you know who you are.
Yeah,
you're all sweet in my heart. Thank you, Miko, for reposting in Facebook every single day.
Yes,
I won't be hitting up your inbox for a while now.
Real quick before everybody dips out because they got what they want. There's 157 people watching and only 16 likes. The math ain't mathin'. We would appreciate your thumbs. Give me your thumbs. I appreciate it.
Hit them thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button.
I hate to ask, but we appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, like I said, and follow us on Instagram, SWTVC. I'm sure you all do anyway that are watching this, but we'll have so many more breakdowns over the next month.
Yeah.
And then in 20 minutes, 18 minutes, head over to Imperial Communique's YouTube channel. Check out the WinterCon panel. Hopefully there'll be some reveals. I don't know. We don't know when the Star Wars section is going to be. It's all part of the same thing. Ghostbusters, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Marvel, Star Wars. Yeah. So I don't know. Yes. But it's been fun. It's always a lot of work every year. I complain. We all moan about how much work it is, but it is always a lot of fun. So thank you, everybody, for following along.
Will there be a March Madness next year? Yeah. Will I do it? We'll see.
Anybody who's really excited about doing this, if you want to take over a big chunk of the work next year, please be my guest. Hit me up on Instagram at the Vintage Concepts right there. Let me know what you want to do.
Yes. If you want to get yelled at for a month, let's do this.
Thank you both for all of your hard work on this. It's a very intensive and exhausting effort. And the community appreciates it. Next year will be the 5th annual one.
Wow.
Already looking forward to it.
Who will be knocked off the bracket by then?
But
yeah. Yeah, man. Well, now I can finally see Dune, though, so that's cool.
Yes. Oh, man, it was so good. I said last week. And Tyler, now I hope you and Lewis have a giant backlog of posts to get up. I'm sure everybody's photography has been waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
So that'll come back Monday. I have to do the calendar soon, but
yeah.
The art gallery returns soon.
The art gallery, regular scheduled programming. Next month, I know, John, you've said many times, we're going to be doing a bunch of these data breakdowns, sort of things, looking at some of the numbers, the rankings, what they mean, teams and themes, all that fun stuff. I'm hoping we can get at least a podcast episode out by then. So stay tuned. There'll still be some stuff coming in April. But just in the meantime, we're going to rest a little bit. So.
Yes, I've started thinking about what repaints can we talk about. We've been talking about all new figures. What kind of stormtroopers and clone troopers can we do? Yeah. How much Bad Batch stuff can we do? Oh, then we got to talk about
which HasLab can we do?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I've been thinking about
they're coming.
I got pitched the idea of a 2-pack tournament, you know, and whatever. And I was really gung-ho about that, but that was months ago. And now I'm sitting here at the end of this month and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do a tournament yet. But we'll get the gears turning. And I do want to do something kind of talking about the 2-pack expression of iconic moments from the Star Wars media. So
yes, and the episode 1 25th anniversary is in a few months. We're going to be doing some fun stuff about that. So
yes.
For now, I nap, and I thank you, everybody. And actually, I can't nap. I got to go to Anaheim. Dang.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, don't nap. You're going to be driving in about 15 minutes. All right. Well, any final thoughts, guys, before we just kind of wrap this up unceremoniously here after 45 minutes?
Just thank you, everybody. Hope if and when they ever make Pong Krell, please, for the love of God, buy him.
At
Buy
full
him
price.
Full price, yes.
Yes.
He will definitely be
There's-
deluxe, but he deserves
it's worth
it.
saying, yes, like that's a good point. I wanted to bring this up super quickly. Guys, if you want them to continue making the stuff that we specifically ask for, you need to support it with your wallets and not just your mouths. Okay? It's super important because if we tell them to make this stuff and then it doesn't sell, they might stop listening to us. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
So don't wait for clearance. Don't be a clearance vulture. I understand prices are high. They're not fun. I get it. I don't like it any more than anybody else. But if you want this line to continue and you want them to make the stuff that you ask for, support the line. Support the line.
Yeah. And some deluxes
It's
maybe
super
don't
important.
Yeah, not
maybe
all
don't seem so
deluxes are
deluxe,
created
but
equal.
Pong Krell would be a big beefy figure. It would be
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
And then they could make so many Clone Trooper repaints around him with Tup and Apo and all these guys from the Umbara arc.
Then they can just
Darkness on
repaint
Umbara.
him and say it's a Jedi Dexter Jetster or whatever.
Yeah,
and-
why not?
Yeah.
He had a long life. Why not?
Yeah, we don't know what he was up to. So actually, I think he showed up in a High Republic comic at one point. So he's been doing stuff.
He's around Return of the Jedi. Anyway,
Yep. Okay. All right. We wrapped it up. Pong Krell is the March Madness 2024 winner. Again, thank you everybody for all the participation. John, thank you for just busting ass and being the driving force behind this and being the absolutely crucial calculating mind behind all of
they're
this
going to say
stuff.
crazy, which is
The
more accurate.
crazy
Thank
mind
you, yes.
behind all of this. Yes.
The grand mustache.
You've earned your rest, Tyler. Thank you
Thank you,
so
thank
much
you.
for everything you do. Thanks for all your support. And yeah, everybody, thanks
Thank
for
you,
tuning
Evan.
in.
Thank you for everything you've been doing.
Yep, we'll see.
Thanks
Setting
to you.
that switch every night at 10 p.m. your time. Can't do anything. Can't go out any night.
Yeah,
ever.
I could have probably written some kind of automation for that, but that's
We'll
above
figure
my
it out.
pay grade because there is no pay grade here. So, yeah.
I just want to thank everybody for participating again one more time. Thank you all for sharing your top 25 images and submitting your lists and voting. Even if your favorite characters fell out of the tournament, the ones that continued to vote, thank you. Thank you for your participation. This data is really important. So, we want to get you all involved and we want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
So thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you.
All right. Well, on that note,
You got to handle the hashtags this time. I failed miserably last week. So
I didn't write any of them down.
I know.
So
How
we'll
many can you
just
remember?
see. As always, keep 375 alive, back TVC, balance the scales, Hasbro, sing a song for Pong or yell for Krell or whatever. Keep wailing for Baylan. Time for Tanaka. I guess I'll throw that one in there.
Finish the 96.
Finish the 96, make the mains, make them all.
Bring me
and-
the Bad Batch. Yeah.
May the force be with you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.